Hello everyone, welcome to another episode of TCG Talk, back today with another video. And in today's video, I'm going to be doing an event recap of the most recent Grand Archive event, Ascent Toronto, which happened this past weekend. We're going to talk about the meta, talk about what decks performed well, some of the crazy archetypes that we're already seeing in this new meta and in this new set, and kind of go over it, as well as some spoiler information for the upcoming set in March of next year. So we'll get right into it. If you're new to the channel, welcome. Thank you so much for stopping by. Hopefully you enjoy your stay. If you're a long-staying supporter, thank you so much as always. We'll get right into it. Check out the Discord, all that good stuff down below. Really quick also for my Grand Archive folks who are new to the channel, please leave some comments down below. Let me know what you think of the videos, if I say anything incorrectly, or if I'm missing something important in these recaps. Please let me know. I do a lot of event recaps for Flesh and Blood, but this is my first time giving a crack at for a Grand Archive event, so I would love any feedback possible. If you're a Flesh and Blood player, if you have any questions about the game that I didn't fully explain, or if you need explain it to me in Flesh and Blood terms, definitely let me know, and I'll try to not make as many comparisons moving forward, but I have to do it until we start to get this use to everything on the channel. But regardless, Ascent Toronto was this past weekend. Super fun event to watch. Was really excited to watch it myself because this is the first event that I've really paid attention to from a competitive perspective. I've watched a couple Grand Archive events in the past year or so, but it's been more just like casual viewing. This was the first time where I was really paying attention to what cards were people playing? What did the deck lists look like? How are these matchups going? What were some key cards and key kind of synergies and things like that? So I was super intrigued when it came to that. When it came to the meta breakdown, this was the first event for Mortal Ambition since the Mortal Ambition set release. We had a lot of new tools come into play, new champions in Kong Min and Jin, and so it's kind of the Wild West. The last event right before Mortal Ambition with Mercurial Heart that Ascent Singapore kind of ended on a bang in terms of where the meta sat, because Slimes or Sylvie had just dominated the meta for the most part, or was a big staple in the meta the entire set. But except for that last event, we saw 6 different champions in top 8, so it really balanced out at the very end. So it kind of left this, that combined with the new set, it kind of left a lot of things in the air of what's going to be good, what are people going to bring, how are people going to adapt to these new cards, so on and so forth. As we got close enough, people started to realize that Vanitas was very strong with Razor Gale Calling. We'll talk about that here in a second. It was kind of like a terribly best kept secret type thing. And it ended up showing. So Vanitas was the most represented deck, 194 players, 37 of them bought Vanitas to the event, followed by Sylvie, Lorraine, Merlin, and Jin. As far as the top is concerned, this was a little surprising to me. I thought Sylvie was going to be the most played deck. I thought that people knew how good Vanitas was with that Razor Gale Calling synergy. However, I thought in the face of kind of an unknown meta, people would just go to the deck that they knew is potentially the best deck in the format, which is Sylvie Slime. So because of that, I thought Sylvie was going to be number 1, and then I thought personally it was going to be Merlin and Vanitas at 2 and 3, and maybe Merlin overtaking him, even though it's kind of a stretch, right? I just thought Merlin was an extremely strong deck going into this format as well. I did not expect Lorraine to be 3rd. She did get some cool new warrior stuff, but I just didn't expect her to be that much higher. Then we saw Jin at 5. I thought Jin would be a little bit higher as well. I thought a lot of people had a lot of hype for that champion for the release. A lot of people were going to find some cool stuff. You can play in multiple ways with this, late game Exia game plan, or you can play him level 2 and just swing at people, slice and dice style, and just go nuts. So I expected that champion to do really well. Kind of one of the most notable missing champions is Tristan. No Tristan to be seen. There might have been 1 or 2 floating around, but people understand that the champion's a little bit hard to play right now. Her level 3 isn't as consistent because of how fast the format is and how people can deal different levels of damage now, or different types of damage. I still think there's a go wide slice and dice version of Tristan that can go into level 3 when needed, that can be played, but regardless, that's neither here nor there. So this is how it shaped up. In terms of element breakdown, wind is just dominating at 38%. This makes complete sense. Even before Mortal Ambition came out, wind was kind of the most flexible element in my opinion. You saw a lot of really good decks like Tristan, like Sylvie, utilizing wind very, very well, followed by fire and water. Fire makes sense as well to me. Some people might have expected water to be over fire, but at the beginning of a meta, you're going to see more aggressive strategies kind of come into play because they're easier to pick up and play initially. And I think that a lot of people are trying to build like a fire gen list personally. I don't know how many fire gens are at the event. That's just where my head goes. But regardless, this was the elemental breakdown. And then we had the day 2 top 8. I do not have the top cut, all the like top cut distribution. Hopefully they come out that on Luxura's map. But this was the top 8. And it was a little bit more one-sided than we thought. So in terms of elements, all 8 decks were wind-based. So, that's how that went. And then we had 6 Vanitas decks, 1 Kong Ming, and 1 Merlin. The Vanitas decks, from my understanding, are not the exact same list, but pretty freaking close. That deck's just obviously the best deck in the format right now until something's done to change that. But Vanitas Razor Gale Calling is extremely powerful. There are tech pieces against it, but people are going to have to figure that out and see if it's even consistent enough. Of note, I do not have this on the presentation, but they did errata 3 visits to basically when you activate it, you rest your champion, I believe. So now instead of being able to just stack Razor Gale Calling damage with multiple 3 visits, it's going to be a lot, I think it's at additional cost you rest your champion. So it's going to be a lot harder to get off multiple 3 visits, even if you can. Or go into multiple activations, I guess, at least is the best way to put it. So with that errata, it does get the ceiling a little bit more to the deck, but the deck's still extremely good. The non-Vanitas decks, we had Kong Ming with Razor Gale. I know it says Razor Gale, and it looks like it's like the exact same list, just with Kong Ming slapped in there, but it's really not. I watched that game, I think they were on stream twice, but I watched the finals, and that list definitely, yes, uses Razor Gale effectively, but it also has other outs. Whereas Vanitas is really trying to get Razor Gale out and just go ham. That Kong Ming list was a little bit more flexible, so I was super excited to see that. That wasn't just like a Vanitas list with Kong Ming slapped in the champion slot, right? It actually had some play other than Razor Gale Calling. And then Merlin, I think Merlin's still extremely good right now. I think it's a little bit undervalued, which is funny to say about Merlin. I think the deck's really good, and I hope more people continue to play it because I think it has a really good spot in this meta. But we had 6 Vanitas decks, 8 Wind Element decks, all in the top 8, so extremely lopsided. There's no way around this. The 3 visits, errata definitely will help, and I do think there is some tech to Razor Gale, so I am optimistic for the next set to see how people change things around, and if Vanitas does have some counterplay, excuse me, we might see Water come back and make a little bit of resurgence with Nico, using some negate effects in order to stop those Razor Gales from coming out, but the question is that consistent enough? Wind does have some removal that can help take care of Razor Gale, but we'll have to see again if that's consistent enough. But Vanitas is the deck to beat right now, and until someone does anything different, we'll have to see. Like I said, they did a errata 3 visits. They also added 1 additional card into Category 2. Someone please in the comments let me know down below what that is. It's Chalice of Blood, and I forgot the second card. I'm so mad. Regardless, Vanitas ended up taking it. Super strong deck. Nothing much to say about that. But the event was really fun to watch regardless. There was a really good level 3 gen list that was doing really well with Exia, kind of like an OTK list that was really cool. There was an Arisana list that was going deep into day 2 in the top table. So there were still some fun decks to watch and see regardless of how lopsided top 8 was. So there's that. We also had some really cool announcements. We had Abyssal Heaven announced as an expansion set to Mortal Ambition. It's going to be releasing March 7th, 2025, so a little over 4 months from now. It's a huge expansion set, over like 210 plus cards. I forgot the exact number, but it's in like the 210s and the 2 teens basically. And I'm really excited about this. I hope it expands on the shifting winds mechanic. I want to see some more consistent synergies with Kong Ming. Not too consistent where it's crazy, but I don't need like 20 cards that say, if you're pointing north, do something. However, I would like to see some expansion with that. We also got 2 Recollection deck announcements. We got Gia I'm not going to try to butcher that name. I apologize. Pangea is a Luxem Tamer. People were kind of expecting this. We saw the Luxem Tamer cards in Mortal Ambition. People were like, why is this here? So people were expecting this as an add-on at some point. So this was kind of, saw coming. But then the one that I don't think most people saw coming was Dio-chan, which is a cleric tamer, which is really cool with a kind of a different aesthetic. So super excited about this. But we're going to be getting 2 recollection decks going alongside Abyssal Heaven, which is going to be really cool. So super excited about this. Again, a little over 4 months away. Excited to see the spoilers for it. But regardless, this is the first event post-release with a really powerful synergy. I think people will find some counterplay. The biggest question is that counterplay good enough to attack the Razor Guild calling synergies, right? That'll be kind of what we need to see in the coming months as we have a couple other big events. But let me know what your thoughts are. Excuse me, it's late. I had a really lot of fun watching this, even with some of the lopsided, results. I think the game's really fun to watch. Super excited to build out some of these champions. Right now I'm building Kong Min mostly from the new champions. Really excited to build her. Really building a water list, honestly, right now. But yeah, thank you all so much for watching. Hopefully you like this type of content. If you did, please leave a like, comment, or subscribe. To my entrenched Grand Archive players, please leave feedback. If I missed something, if I didn't cover something good enough, or I didn't cover something correctly, I would love to hear it. I try to watch this event as well as I could and be as informative as I can to give people kind of a one-stop shop on a recap for the event. But regardless, always can look to improve. So please let me know in the comments down below. Really enjoying this game right now. I have a starter deck tournament tomorrow at MetalJS. Super excited about that. And yeah, but yeah, thank you all so much. Again, if you like this type of content, please leave a like, comment, or subscribe. If not me, it's completely fine. Go to another creator, leave a like, comment, subscribe on their stuff. Let's get more people seeing this game. Hopefully you enjoyed this little event recap. And if you're from the Grand Archive community, again, welcome to the channel. Thank you all so much, and I'll see y'all next time on TC Talk.